Hey friends, today we're going to be watching the Vice documentary. Welcome or welcome back to Oops, I Planted Again. My name is Courtney, and in today's video, I'm going to be watching, reacting, and talking through the Vice documentary on houseplants. I've only seen a couple of clips and a little bit of commentary surrounding this. I think somebody steals a plant, which is absolutely unethical, but let's get straight into it. Okay, so based off the intro right away, I can tell that somebody stole something from, it looks like a fancier place, like a conservatory or something of that nature. And we're going to get into that. And there's people like showing off the new plants that they got and showing off their collections. So I still don't really have any expectations going in, but let's keep going.
This video is going to be a houseplant collection video because I have 218 plants.
So I am standing inside of my grow tent that I actually keep in my guest bedroom.
So in this case is where I have some of my more precious and a little bit more expensive plants. I do gotta keep them locked up.
Over the last 4 years, millennials have come to dominate the horticulture.
Okay, so I find that really weird. I don't know, locking up your plants. I don't know. I'm definitely the type of person who likes to experience their plants. I don't have any cabinets currently. I don't know that I'll have one. And if I do, I don't think I would need to put a lock on it. That's just me personally. I don't really see a reason why you would have to lock up your cabinet, but let's keep watching the video.
Market and have created whole new online plant subcultures.
Hi, welcome to Plant Daddy. Who's your daddy? Plant Daddy.
The Plant Daddy, aka Arthur Stewart.
The most desirable specimens are often the finickiest ones, cultivated from so-called exotic species native to Latin America and Southeast Asia. You can't get them in random garden shops, only from elite sellers or by trading with insiders. The plant world has become more like the art world. There are Sotheby's-like auctions and speculators targeting species like their Botticellis.
Mortgage your house, sell your children, and buy this.
I don't like that. Mortgage your house and sell your children. Like, what the fuck? They're plants. They're literally material objects. If you're spending your mortgage on a plant, like, that's crazy to me. I can't imagine. I personally can't imagine. Like, yeah, I can't.
It's better than stock market.
But what's in it for these collectors besides money? And what's in it for the plants?
Ooh, Philodendron Islamani? I've never heard of that or seen it. It's very gorgeous. Variegated plants are usually on the more expensive side. Because they're not like naturally occurring, like white variegation is not naturally occurring. I'm pretty sure. That's very interesting. It's a very pretty plant.
The last that I saw, and I got this guy for $55.
Whoa.
A year ago. So I left the window open one day and a bug came in and took a chunk out of it.
It's like $100 right there.
Yeah, that was $100 meal for the bug right there. So
Fine dining.
yeah. This plant in the market right now sells for around this size for $4,000, $4,000.
This tiny one.
This tiny one.
Okay, that is truly shocking to me.
So these are known as the holy grail of the aroid world, Philodendron spiritissanti.
Plant is huge.
And this is definitely, right now, the most expensive plant that you could buy. It was around $7,000 for one of these guys.
$7,000. The woman was too stunned to speak. That's a lot. I've heard a couple of things about this plant. I'm not like super in the know about like the uncommon plant, or like I have a couple of uncommon plants, like plants you can't just go buy at like Home Depot. But this side of it, I'm like, this is foreign to me. So yeah.
The Philodendron spiritissanti, or PSS for short, has become legendary in the rare plant
This is like the Holy Ghost plant, the Holy Grail of Holy Ghost plants.
Pretty much the holy grail of all philodendron.
It is the holy grail, especially when you have to take out a loan to get one.
The critic
A loan to buy a plant? What the fuck? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
endangered
Don't do that.
PSS is native to Brazil, where only a handful still live in the wild. They're slow growing and really tough to reproduce. It's become a status symbol among collectors, like a leafy Rolex.
The main emotion I feel is disgust. I mean, how could somebody do this?
The stem is rough. I mean, it definitely feels like a quick and dirty saw job.
Ray Novi is the man in charge of the San Diego Botanic Garden. In May, the garden noticed their PSS suddenly looked really different.
So there was a main body of this plant that extended out and hung way, way down. This was a pretty large specimen. It really was an amputation.
Wow.
Somebody essentially came in here and cut the head and torso off of this plant. Somebody came up here with a pole saw or a telescopic loppers of some kind and cut the plant off.
I mean, I'm trying to understand it. So a pole saw, so you're holding it in your hand and you're targeting that stem right there?
Clearly the person who took this plant wanted one plant and one plant only.
Okay, so somebody stole the philodendron Spiritus Sancti. I think I'm saying that correctly. Went into like this conservatory place and hacked off the plant. What? Like, that is disgust. What he's talking about, like, why would you ever do that? If it's in somewhere like this type of like plant sanctuary, conservatory thing, like you really don't have an appreciation for plants at all. And you're an asshole. You're an asshole. Dead ass. Like why would you even do that? Like that's such bad juju. Such bad juju.
Take a plant from a public institution, where it's meant to be enjoyed by everybody and steal that into a private universe where it's now for the enjoyment of one or very few people so dishonestly.
San Diego's not the only botanical garden being stolen from.
The two people were seen on surveillance video walking through the conservatory, taking and damaging whatever they please.
It's almost like somebody kidnapped one of your kids.
I would like for people to think of botanic gardens almost like holy ground for plants. Plant crime is a very enduring feature of humanity. And ever since we've been purposefully growing plants for about 10,000 years, there have been a lot of theft. But there's also been a lot of sharing.
Jerry invited me to a potting party where we could do just that, share plants.
What other qualities do you guys look for in plants?
I just like the way the leaves look. I don't need flowers.
I like seeing plants grow from something like a seed, teeny tiny, to get like huge.
I'm an islander, so like big on community. We're always together. I think with COVID, like guys might cry, not being able to be with my family that I'm with all the time. The plants are awesome, but having people,
The company.
it's like that love the same thing we love is like huge.
So I personally think that the plant hobby is about sharing.
And that's kind of why I feel like it's hard sometimes because there is so much like greed and like negativity in the community.
What do you guys think about the hype around the PSS?
It's unrealistic, like the hype that has come with these plants. People would kill each other over a plant like that.
So where do you guys think that plant is now?
Probably in someone's private collection.
Whether they know that's how it was acquired or not.
If a plant's like stolen, like that shit's gonna die.
There was an aroid collector who had been visiting our garden just in the month preceding this theft, who had taken pictures of our plant and talked about how much he was drooling over. And after the theft, started posting some pictures of plants that some people thought could have been our plant.
I go to my door and I find a card on my door saying it was from a detective. So I give him a call back and she tells me that somebody said that I may have stolen the PSS and if I knew anything about that.
Some keyboard warriors in the plant community suspected Jerry because of his friendship with another collector named Eric. That collector, who wouldn't talk to us, admitted to stealing a rare clipping from a different botanic garden.
Okay. Aroid Daddy on Instagram posted August 16th, 2020, Early last year, probably in January, I made the mistake of taking a cutting. You don't make a mistake of taking something. You do it. So that's strike one. I mean, taking it is the strike one, but this post of a Bolivian form of Monstera obliqua from the conservatory at the Huntington Library. And it says he later publicly apologized and offered to pay the garden back. And then there was a letter from them that said, "Dear Eric," or maybe the letter 8 July. Maybe the letter was from July, and then he posted in August. "Dear Eric, thank you once again for your honesty and doing the right thing. Encloses your check, which we will not accept." As they fucking should. You're a thief. What the heck? I'm going to look up this Aroid Daddy on Instagram. I didn't find anything under this name on Instagram. Let's see if we can, like, Google. Maybe Aroid Daddy doesn't exist anymore. I can't find anything on Aroid Daddy, and yeah. Let's keep watching.
The chatter speculated that Jerry somehow acquired the stolen PSS through Eric.
So Plant and Party posted this and then deleted it. Let's keep watching.
Posted a photo of a new PSS on his Instagram. Then he deleted it. When the new owner posted photos of the plant on her own social media account, it looked unhealthy to some observers.
Ooh, okay. So somebody bought that plant that they posted, and then that person posted a picture of it on their TikTok, their Instagram, and said, "I'm on my way home with her after driving 5 hours." And it does look a lot different than the one in the photo.
This plant here, it's very yellow, even starting to brown. That would be suggestive of a plant that's been separated from its root system.
Online speculation about the theft from the botanical garden continued, and Jerry's name popped up again.
You sold a third PSS.
I did, yeah.
Some people were saying maybe that was the one stolen from the botanical garden.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard about that as well. So.
Well, was it?
No, not at all. No, that was, I got that one from my friend Eric.
Mm.
I gave my good friend PSS a couple years ago. Wasn't doing well with me. Eventually, it grew to a nice, large size, and I asked for a cutting of it back. He gave me a cutting, but since it was straight from the plant, it wasn't doing very good at all. I see how it looks, but spreading rumors, that's when it gets a little dicey.
You put it on Instagram, right? And then what happened next?
I took it down because there was a whole witch hunt going on. I don't want to get involved in that at all.
Several collectors, not just Jerry, were publicly accused of the theft.
This is not what I got into the hobby for. I was heartbroken that somebody would do that because I've had plants stolen, and I wouldn't want anyone to go through that.
It turns out, over several months, someone had been pilfering Jerry's most prized plants from a greenhouse he rented.
Ooh.
And around midnight, I got a notification from the camera that there was movement. There was something going on in my greenhouse, and lo and behold, there was this guy perusing like he was shopping.
Oh my
among
God.
the benches of my greenhouse. I'd say around 20 to 25% of my collection was gone.
How much was it worth?
Around 25%.
Oh my God. I didn't even know. Whoa, hold up. I didn't even know you could rent greenhouses. I didn't know that's a whole thing. Okay. I had no idea. I know for me personally, right now for where I'm at with my plant business, I'm keeping everything in-house where I can see it and go to it. And then when I get my store, which is like the dream, the ultimate dream, I'm going to keep that behind lock and key. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I didn't even know you could get a greenhouse for rent. But I'd be so pissed though.
He turns. I see that he has a gun in his hand. It wasn't holstered. He was up and ready.
A gun?
Pointing.
What?
A gun. I can only imagine had I decided to like camp out.
That's super scary. Where did you get these plants from?
I got this one from Enid from NSC Tropicals.
Everyone I've been interviewing for the story is like, Enid's collection is the best of anyone.
Enid Offolder is a name you'll hear a lot in the plant community. She's
I've never heard of her.
Shop for 2 decades.
She's like,
I wonder what her shop is.
I guess she's really everybody's friend, isn't she? This came from NSE Tropicals, straight from Enid.
It literally has Enid's name on this box, and I feel like I'm going to keep it forever because she touched this box.
NSC Tropicals. I've never heard of it, and I'm gonna look it up. A lot of expensive plants on here. A lot of stuff I've never even heard of. Very interesting. Oh, they have a... Okay, so they have a philodendron. It's out of stock. The philodendron biliate. I never know if I say that correctly. This one was about $199, and I got mine for $55 on Facebook. And it's pretty nice. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty nice. Actually, I'll go get it and show you really quick. This is my billy that I have. It's growing in water. I kind of need to move it though because it's like sitting on a shelf, but it's already hitting like the top of the shelf. So I need to move it, but it's doing really well. I've never had any problems with it, and I've just left it in water since I got it a couple of months ago.
This is your house, right? I just work from home.
That's goals.
Backyard jungle.
Yeah, isn't it nice?
How many plants do you have here?
Probably thousands.
Thousands.
Oh, yeah.
Enid's store, Natural Selection Exotics Tropicals, or NSE for short, began when a hobby got out of control.
When I first started out, the online aspect, it was almost like a joke. I would go to nurseries, they'd be like, oh, there's that girl with her imaginary business or whatever.
Now, Enid's website is almost always out of stock. Followers stand by ready to pounce on new plants.
I'll announce it on Instagram, and generally they've already found out before I even mention it, and orders are coming in, and it crashes the website.
So how much is this table right here worth?
About $3,000 a piece.
And there's how many of them here?
40?
So 120,000.
Yeah, wow. I'll go pay my house.
Are you worried about plant theft?
There is the concern, but I'm pretty well protected with the cameras and the dog, and kind of annoying just to talk about. Like, sorry, I get like so upset just thinking about somebody doing that to me. So,
what kept you in this hobby over the years?
Every time I get new growth or something starts doing really well, it's just like, oh, that's why I'm doing this. This is so amazing. You know?
What does that feel like?
Hope and growth is just such a positive thing, and plants, you can share them.
It's necessarily community focused.
Absolutely. There's the tuberculata.
Oh, yes.
You know, what I love about that is that the inflorescences are upside down.
Inflorescence, or a cluster of flowers on a branch. That's one of a bunch of new words I picked up hanging around Nick and Enid.
Yeah, so basically the process to grow monsteras.
Another is Monstera, Mick's favorite genus. His house is covered in them.
They're kind of mysterious and really attractive, and they're really sexy. Around on the forest floor, searching out areas of low light, because low light means that there's usually a tree or something that it can climb. I mean, you don't usually think as plants as having any kind of strategy, but they actually have incredibly diverse and well-adapted life strategies that kind of helps them succeed.
Plant intelligence is hotly debated in the scientific community. Some botanists say plants make decisions about how to best survive, just in a different dimension of time than ours. Their arsenal of over 3,000 chemical substances can poison enemies or recruit animals to do their bidding. Some plants have even been shown to cooperate within species. If intelligence means solving problems, and let's face it, we spend most of our days doing just that, then plants aren't so different.
What are you planning to do with these plants?
Unfortunately, due to some family strife, I have to sell one of them.
Jerry told me his parents' small business had been struggling due to COVID-19.
It's a heartbreaking process, honestly. It took me around a month to decide to sell it.
Jerry posted the PSS on eBay on October 7th for $10. And within a week, it was going for more than $13K.
What?
Yep, I'm recording.
He and his wife kept a close eye on the numbers.
Perfect.
Jerry communicated with a buyer in Milan in the days leading up to the auction, who privately let him know his plan to offer $15,000.
$15,000?
Niccolo Banfi is a collector who got into the hobby during quarantine.
During the lockdown this year, plants became part of my life. And actually my house now is full of plants. My grandfather, he fell in love with his plant when he was in Brazil in the 80s, and I've been looking for it, and then I found it, so I need to get it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, please bid.
Yes! Yes! Finally is mine! Finally is mine! Oh my god! Yes!
Just packing that type of plant is like, oh, I can't even imagine packing that plant. Like, I pack plants, and I've packed big plants, but that big and that, like, expensive, I would be so fucking nervous.
No. It was really real. Having put so much time and
Oh my
effort
God.
into making sure this plant doesn't die, it can be a little bittersweet to ship it and send it to somebody else. Forget that at the end of the day there's more important things, but it doesn't change the fact of how I feel and how much time I put into this plant.
Jerry's PSS doesn't need to say goodbye. Plants might be intelligent, but they're not sentimental. And maybe that's what we love about them. For now, the case of the stolen PSS remains unsolved.
Final thoughts on the Vice documentary. I found it really interesting. I feel like as somebody who has had plants since 2017, so before the pandemic craze and all of that stuff, it's very interesting to see this side of the plant world for me as somebody who is just getting into my plant business. And I feel like for me, I'm not really looking to cater, I guess, to plant collectors in the way that I've seen them in this documentary. I don't really think those are my people. I think that my community is on a different side. I feel like there's a really big spectrum when it comes to collecting plants and having house plants, and somebody stealing a plant is just completely unethical, especially from some place that is like a conservatory for everybody to enjoy these plants. And I'm really interested to see if this mystery is ever solved of this stolen rifled plant. Another thing that I found really interesting was the stealing of somebody else's plants in the garden or the greenhouse that they rent. One, I didn't even know you could rent a greenhouse, which is amazing. Two, that person having a weapon to shoot somebody over a plant. Like, that is mind-boggling to me. Let me know in the comments if that's mind-boggling to you, because I was just like, I didn't even expect that. Final thoughts. I guess we'll see what happens next in the houseplant world. As it grows, there's just more people coming in and discovering things and growing things and doing things. And I think there is no end game when it comes to houseplants. It's just, you're just here and sometimes you're just vibing. So yeah, that was very interesting to watch. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to watching the Vice documentary with me today. And I want you to comment below the thing that you found the most interesting about this documentary. And I will see you in the next video.